Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the Leader Well podcast. Today, I have one of the most special guests on my podcast, my dear friend, alumni, an amazing success story, Catana Malinowski, the coolest last name ever from the Malinowski report, but not that crazy, corrupt politician, but the good Malinowski, not the bad one. But anyways, the reason she's here is that she's been absolutely crushing it. She's on fire with her podcast and opportunity she's had. She's one of the first alumni. Well, she's one of the alumni of the first class in December 2021. And so far, she launched her podcast in February. Right now is May 14th. So about 3 months ago. And she's already at episode number 5,364. And I don't know how many, but anyways, along those lines, I don't remember the exact numbers, but along the 5,000s. But anyways, welcome again to the show, my friend.
Thank you, Payman. It is always a pleasure to be in a conversation with you. Always.
Absolutely. Same here. Same here. So tell us, how have you been? How have you been lately? So how's everything?
Everything is going incredibly well. The
Good.
podcast is, as you put it, on fire. I continue to record and I release an episode every week. I have 41 episodes currently recorded. I have 14 released. And I have about 10 or 15 scheduled. And I'm always looking for more people to have a beautiful conversation with about all things transformational.
Beautiful. So do you have a specific date and time when you release your shows?
Yes, I do. I release every Thursday at 5 a.m. Now, I have yet to verify whether that's Eastern or Central Daylight Time, but it's
Why 5 a.m.?
because I learned through my research that that is one of the most downloaded times for a podcast that's released on Thursdays.
Wow, that's interesting. And have you seen any numbers bumping because of that? You've in terms of downloads?
Yes, actually, when I scheduled my last podcast for release, I went through and I was looking at all of the numbers, and I actually have had quite a few downloads for every single episode, and that really warmed my heart.
Wow.
Really did. My very first episode has 36 downloads.
Whoa.
Yes.
An extra 65, and you can start monetizing. You can even start being monetized right away by approaching potential sponsors and so on and so forth.
And it seems to be averaging 7 and 9 per episode. And as it gains more attention, then it picks up more downloads. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy that
Good.
because even one set of ears has a ripple
Absolutely.
effect.
What do you do specifically to promote your show?
I share my episode obviously with the guest, so they can share it with all of their people,
Network, yeah.
their entire network of people. I share it on Facebook in 2 different Facebook groups. I share it through my website that is through Podbean, which is my actual podcast website. I share through the various platforms that are available, Apple, iHeartRadio, etc., that are all through there. YouTube, I also share on LinkedIn.
Good.
A lot of people that actually take notice of it. I also share in Twitter, and I've had some really interesting responses there as well.
Awesome. When you share them on those platforms, especially LinkedIn, do you add hashtags and tag people, or you just post them as is?
At first, it was just post them as is. Now I'm actually adding a sentence that is, I talk about this with this person about,
Like
and
a
then I'll
summary,
give
short summary, yeah.
a quick blurb as to what will be unfolding inside. and I'm creatively working on new ways to make it even more interesting, just making it better. I want to keep it the way that I do it, because I've had really good feedback from my guests that they really love the format and the style that I
Good.
use. I've had really good feedback that my interview style is really strong. So I obviously, I don't want to be somebody else, but I do want to improve and make it better for the listeners in terms of content or what I'm saying, you know, just whatever ways I can make it better for them.
So have you noticed as a person, personally, as benefit of podcasting yourself, that you've become in the process a better listener, better speaker, better to connect with people and interact with people? Because I certainly have noticed that on my own. But how about you?
Oh, yes. 1,000 times yes.
Mm,
When you're doing what I will say in my words is a good job, you're present. You're able to,
mm,
you know, interact with what's being said, move forward, move backwards, and come back to what was said, and be
mm.
able to use the words that
Sure.
are being stated by your guest.
Mm,
So, you're acknowledging that you're in that present moment with them while you're able to draw
mhm.
on other aspects of the interview.
Absolutely. And also, don't, as I keep telling people, both people and my student, all that, don't speak from a script. Don't even speak with your mouth. Speak from the heart, because the more you can
Mhm.
speak from the heart, the more organic, the better connection you will have, the deeper connection you'll have, not only with the person you're talking to, but also with the audience, because people want to see authenticity, not just some corporate bullshitty type of, polished message. They want to see the real you, the real you. That's what people want to know.
Yes. And I also do the same with my guests.
Good,
So I don't provide questions
good.
that
Me
I'm
too.
going to ask, because I want it to be an organic conversation, because I want it to be from my heart and from their heart as well, so that
Mhm.
the the audience is getting the best of both of us.
Beautiful. Now, what I'm really excited and interested to know is share with us the successes you've had so far as a result of starting your podcast.
Oh my gosh, the visibility has amplified 1,000 times. I have a stronger voice. I've felt more comfortable stepping into it. And the first way that I feel that showed up was saying yes to my first book, which you are also a co-author in, Sacred Surrender, with Divine Destiny Publications. And I also have my copy here.
Good job. Hey, I like how you have the little golden sticker on it.
Yes. And that
How did it feel you having a book in your hand with your name on it and not just reading other people's story, but reading your story? How did that feel?
surreal.
Yes.
It's
Even if
very
it's just a
surreal.
chapter, that's okay.
Yeah. It's well, there's a power to
Mhm.
being in a shared space, actually.
Sure.
It's um for lack of better vernacular, it's validating
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
your story. You're in a collective story, and then you get to see in that regard how we fit into the collective. And it kind of
Mhm.
speaks to that coming from the heart that we're both really about, that being heart centered. And
Absolutely.
Mary Gooden is just golden at being able to bring us together and helping us shine that light that way, our publisher.
Oh,
And
yes.
um, so to continue, I've also had conversations with just incredible people that have led to collaborations. I have a workshop coming up on May 21st, The
Whoa.
Art of Communication, Transforming Lives to be Seen, Heard, and Understood. It's a 3-part workshop. So there'll be Um, it's going to be about communication and building communication skills with parents, grandparents, educators, and mentors who have and work with tweens and teens,
Mhm.
so that everybody is seen, heard, and understood. That's one thing that has come about from stepping into the space of podcasting. Again, more collaborations, people that want to work with me, and more people have seen me and talked about, being a potential client. I now have my successful clients that are sharing their story through the podcast. It's just incredible, and it just keeps growing.
Beautiful. I'm really excited not only to see you spread your wings and fly, but also to see you get the visibility and using your podcast to get your exact ideal clients, paying clients through your podcast. Talk more about that. How you are you using your podcast to get more of your, not just any client, but your exact ideal client.
I really focus on guests
Mm-hmm.
that are in that same space that my potential clients are, if not speaking to them directly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really where the gold is sharing that insight
Mm-hmm.
that somebody's going to hear it and go, okay, they've been there, or she's been there, or I've been there. I don't feel at all that there's competition. I feel that there's enough for everybody. So I don't feel that when I bring other people on my show as a guest, that
Mm-hmm.
even if they do something similar, that I'm worried about somebody going a different direction with somebody else. Because ideally, your ideal client is going to work with you anyway, because you resonate with them. It's what
And
you're bringing to the table.
yes, and turn competition into collaboration.
Yes. And that's it, which is part of my messaging
Mm-hmm.
in my work that I do anyway, which is, we kind of collaborate together
Mm-hmm.
to achieve the client's success. It's not about me doing it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not about them doing it alone. It's about a collaboration where we work together.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, what's next? What kind of doors have you seen open for you for the next 6 months as a result of podcasting?
I see an expansion
Mm-hmm.
in possibly doing a second podcast
Whoa.
is more about other things, where what they refer to as passion projects,
Like,
things that you're passionate about that,
what would be your passion project?
oh my gosh, I've been trying to decide exactly what that is. It grows and changes each and every day. So again, I'm still working on what that would look like.
You could be a motivational speaker, and one of the titles would be, as I said earlier, jokingly, half joking, but I think could really take it as, if I kiss the president on the neck, so can you, as a metaphor, meaning that if I kiss the president on the neck without getting arrested, so can you, meaning, of course, I'm not going to teach you how to kiss the president on the neck, but I'm going to teach you how to shoot for your goal, no matter how big they may be, because nothing is impossible.
Yes, I do like that. I do like that. And actually, that is one of my goals. I would love to be on a stage
Mm-hmm.
and talking with people to motivate them, to show them that it's possible
Hey,
to.
I'm only projecting myself in the future. And once you do that and become successful, who knows? Maybe you can be back on the stage with the same president that you kissed on the accidentally on the neck, and this time, I'm not saying it's going to happen again, but this time doing that could be actually one of the hooks to bring him to do an event with you. Hey, remember me? No, where are you? Well, the crazy woman that kissed you on the neck.
It's so funny too, because I immediately looked up to see where the Secret Service people were. I was
You were like,
thinking,
oh, my hands are. Ah,
that was an
you didn't
accident.
do like this. Sorry, sorry. That wasn't me. Wow, that was hilarious. Wow. Okay. Beautiful. So speaking of visibility, you mentioned that one of the benefits of you starting a podcast has been it gave you visibility. What kind of visibility did you have prior to embarking on your podcasting journey?
I really didn't have very much visibility at all as the person I am today.
Mhm.
I have a new last name. I live in a new state. I came
What do you mean a
into
new last name? You ditched the
I
Malinowski? That's a beautiful last name. I
no
would buy it from if I could, you know.
prior to July 17th, 2020, I was Catana Barnes. So it was
Oh,
my
okay.
first marriage last
I
name.
see.
And that was, you know, as I mentioned to you in my
Mhm.
previous life, I was running for state senator of Nevada. And I was connected with thousands of people and top government all the way down to, city level, city
Mhm.
managers and lawyers and judges and such. So it was a big step to completely reinvent myself as my chapter unfolds in Sacred Surrender. COVID changed everything, and
Yes.
I stepped into a new me in every way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. Wow. So, what kind of transformation have you seen personally? Wait. Let me rephrase that. So, before that, before embarking on that, what kind of business were you trying to build before getting into podcasting? Did you have an offer, an idea that you wanted to pursue, or you had nothing and just trying to figure it out?
Well, I was working on building the transformational art,
Mm-hmm.
uh, tra- transformation art and wellness strategist business, which is coming into 9 months, of fruition. So I was in the process of building that. And part of building any business when it's a first year business is visibility. It's significant. So before the podcast, I was struggling. I was thinking, how am I going to get out there in such a way that people are going to even know that I'm here?
But I exist.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and meeting you opened that door, because then I stepped into your podcasting class and made my microphone my best friend. And now I ever since then I've been speaking with some of the most incredible people that I would have never
Mm-hmm.
had an opportunity to speak with before. At least I'm not sure I would have, not in the way that I have.
Yeah. Same here.
And that in and of itself has opened doors to being heard more and more. It's allowed me to feel confident to step into doing more and more, asking people
Mm-hmm.
where I might not have asked people before, and more collaborations. Again, we both have stepped into
Sure.
being a co-author in another book, and I'm looking forward to all that comes with that.
Yeah.
And I I'm looking forward to what's next. And I know what I know is that it's the unknown. And there's something exciting about that.
Absolutely. So prior to getting into podcasting, did you make any money in that business that you were trying to build?
I made
Okay.
a little.
And then since starting the podcast, have you made any money as a direct result of your podcast? No, I'm not going to ask you for any cut. I'm just asking, no, just because I'm curious. I'm just joking, but I just want to know because I'm very curious about that.
I have generated potential clients.
Okay.
And
So
so
money is
it's,
still in your what do you call it, in your karma bank. Okay, it's coming. Okay.
yes, it's coming, and I can
Okay.
feel that. I can feel the
Mhm.
energy that's behind it.
Good.
Yeah.
That's powerful. So how does that make you feel now, going from before you had an idea, but you had no idea how to get the visibility, how to be heard, seen, and people know about you, but now you have an actual outlet, a platform, a visibility. How does that make you feel now?
And it's so empowering
Mm-hmm.
and validating, and it's just heartwarming to know that I can, through a heart-centered way, in my style, I
Mm-hmm.
can actually reach people and connect with people in a way that I otherwise didn't have before.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's all about transformation and impact. You know,
Mm.
at least for me, the two most powerful thing in business as far as the transformation and the impact, and then the beautiful friendships you build in the process, and then the icing on the cake is the money. The money is not the cake,
Right,
because if you make the money to be your cake, then that cake is not going to last long. It's not going to be the most delicious cake, so to speak. But if you
right.
make the cake about the impact, the transformation, the friendship, is going to be an incredibly delicious cake. Is going to be very unforgettable and meaningful, and then of course, and as a result of that, you will get paid too.
I like that you bring up the transformational part in
Mhm.
that, because I have been able to help others
Oh,
join in your program and
yes,
transform
indeed.
their voices as well.
One lady, two ladies, phenomenal ladies. I remember, amazing. One is Queen Lavrine.
Yes,
I hope she's okay. I haven't heard from her. I'm gonna uh, send her a message to see how she's doing. And then, probably one of the
yes,
most touching and most beautiful stories is Karen. Karen is such a wonderful lady.
yes.
Absolutely
And
phenomenal lady.
I have had
Amazing
the,
big heart. Yes.
oh, yes. And I've had the benefit of having her work through my program.
Okay. Beautiful.
And the transformation came all the way around, and I'm getting
Mhm.
ready to guest on her podcast. And she is so,
Whoa. Wow. Actually, I'm gonna have Karen on my podcast in a couple of hours from now.
oh, I just interviewed her the other day. So here we go. We're all,
Full
you
circle.
know,
Wow.
full circle.
This is beautiful. Having this beautiful conversation with wonderful people. This is a perfect way to spend the time. Even though today we have one of the first beautiful summer days. Like I'd much rather be outside, but hey, I don't mind having this wonderful conversation with beautiful people too.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Wow. So where do you see yourself in 12 months from now as a result of the podcast?
12 months from now, as a result of the podcast,
And all the doors and opportunities podcasting would have brought to you.
I see myself working with people collaboratively on
Mhm.
different projects. And I believe that that opens newer doors,
Totally.
you know, not only talk with people, and I love talking with people
Mhm.
like yourself. I could do this all the time.
Oh, you
And
do? I never knew that. Okay. Of
nah,
course. We
not at
like to
all.
talk. Yeah.
And then I also see this becoming part of just a series of podcasts,
Mhm.
because I really do want to step into another space that has a different focus, one that's a little more open and all encompassing. So it
Mhm.
would bring in a whole different thing. But I also see myself interviewing people off my top 100 list in the
Oh, you
next.
did that. Beautiful. I love that.
I don't
Ah.
have a complete list yet because I find it challenging
Make
to
even a
act.
top 20. That's fine.
I have
A
top
top
25.
10. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that, because it's just, even thinking that, wow, I could really, that would be fun to talk to those people, and just see where that
And you know,
goes.
your Dream 100, if it wasn't for the podcast, you probably would not be in a position to talk to these people, because if you try to ring someone that's a millionaire or a CEO, can I pick your brain for an half an hour? You won't even get to them. You won't even get past the secretary. But if you say, hey, as I teach you you guys in the program, my name is Catana. I'm the host of the wonderful podcast, whatever. I'd love to have you on my podcast to share your story. Oh, yes, absolutely. Just say when. Because of that, you're able to connect with people that you normally would not be able to. So that to me has been one of the greatest things, because I've been able to connect with incredible people, and now I'm looking at adding some celebrities and some big names on my podcast, especially now that I'm reaching 200 episode. So absolutely, I'm looking to stepping up my game as well.
Yes. And I'm still in the race to get to catch you or pass you by June. We'll see if I can do that. That's my goal.
If you're
If you
doing,
remember,
yeah, I'm cheering for
number
you. But
of
if you're doing
episodes.
one episode a week, that's gonna be tough, because I'm at one released 181, recorded 193. So, and this will be in 194. But with time, the turtle was gonna be slow beat wins the race. What's the saying? The slow beats the race, wins the race, something along those lines.
Yes.
The turtle and the rabbit. Okay, I'm
I
not saying I'm the
can.
rabbit, you're turtle, but
Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah.
exactly. Thank you. So yeah, listen, Katana, as always, absolute pleasure talking to you. If someone
Yes.
wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
They can connect with me on Facebook, Catana Malinowski. They can connect with me at LinkedIn, Catana Malinowski at
Mhm.
LinkedIn. And they can also contact me through Gmail at Catana L Malinowski at gmail.com. And they can even contact me by text message at 731-333-2749. And I will be happy to have a conversation.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can they also do it the old school way and take a message, right? Put it at at the foot of a pigeon, and the pigeon will bring it to you. Put it in a bottle, throw it in the sea, and
Getting a bottle from the sea in Tennessee might be a little trick.
all right. It has to be a special bottle that can swim and that can fly as well. Okay.
Yeah, the pigeon, yes. The bottle, maybe. Yeah.
All right, Katana. Have a fantabulous day ahead of you. As always, keep shining your light, keep blessing the world with your presence, with your impact, with everything you do, my friend. I'm super, as always, I'm cheering for you.
Thank you, Payman. It's been an
Pleasure.
absolute, as always.
Absolutely. Cheers. Bye bye.